Who says?
Hello.
Parse. That's how we're doing
Hello and welcome back to the Sportculation podcast, the podcast where we speculate about sports and all things sports related. I am taking over as host this episode because this episode we are talking about NFTs, crypto art, and what that means for the world of sports. And before we get into what any of that means, those letters and those words that I've been saying, I should introduce myself if you don't already know. My name is Anton, and my good friend who has the righteous beard, his name is...
Hello, it's Yusuf, the usual Sportculation hosts, and I've just let Anton quarterback this one because I have no idea what we're talking about today.
Yeah, and then we, of course, have the man who thought Zion Williams it was no more. Introduce yourself, sir.
Yeah, it's me, guys. Yeah, it's your boy Parse. Great to be here.
Yeah, and today we also have a guest on our show. One of our good friends, another high school friend, Raj. Welcome to the show.
Hey guys, thanks for having me. I guess I have righteous scruff.
Righteous scruff.
Yeah. We all got the scruff.
Yeah, I don't
Except
got
Anton.
anything.
Yeah,
I have nothing. I can't.
Oh.
Sad life. Yeah. So the reason we brought Raj on today is because he knows a little bit more about this topic of today, which is the idea of NFTs and crypto art, and what that means a little bit also for sports. Because you know what? Have you guys heard of NFTs? Yusuf, Parse? Like before this week, have you heard of NFT or crypto?
No. I saw NFTs in our group chat, and I thought you were talking about NAFTA for some reason.
NAFTA.
That's not it.
You guys hear about that new NAFTA agreement that Biden introduced with
good old NAFTA? It's definitely not it. No.
The NAFTA tokens.
NAFTA tokens.
Yo, bro.
Yeah, it's what the Canadian dairy farmers go to like exchange with the U.S. steel makers and stuff. You know, Parse, have you heard of NFTs before?
No, I have never. Honestly, I was blown away just by the fact that people even trade this stuff, or what we're going to be discussing today. So it's kind of like a brand new thing.
So, yeah, that's great because I'm sure lots of people listening to this have no idea what NFT or crypto art is. I also just learned this week. I went down a serious rabbit hole this week just trying to learn all about NFTs and crypto art. And if you guys don't know what NFT is, it stands for non-fungible token. And what that means is that it is a token that exists on a blockchain using blockchain technology when it's published. And non-fungible just means that it can't be it's completely unique and it cannot be duplicated or separated into different entities. So it is that one thing, and it is completely unique, and it is digital. So let's say there is a photo, and that photo is it is registered as an NFT, as a non-fungible token. That just means that it is verified by the blockchain technology that it is one of one, or it is that exact unique thing. And of course, someone can come in and screenshot it, take in the JPEG or whatever. But basically what it means is that the blockchain recognizes that specific file and that specific token as unique. Raj, did I get that correct? I think you have a little bit more experience with this. So
no, it makes sense to me. I think that was a good explanation. As you said, it's
a little bit more.
Yeah, I think as you said, they're fungible, right? So I guess that means they're totally unique. And they're minted from the blockchain. I guess they use the word minting, but I guess minting just means created. I think it's interesting. They've been kind of low key up until the last month or so, and then they've really blown up. And now I'm seeing them a lot on YouTube, like TikTok, pretty much any kind of venue any kind of medium, I should say. I don't know if it's because of that specific thing that Logan Paul did, or if there was some other catalyst, but they've really blown up in the last couple of weeks. What do you guys think about that?
Yeah, I think it blew up real quick this within like this past month. I don't know. What have you guys heard of NFTs and crypto art? Yusuf?
Let me start by saying I don't pay attention to this stuff like whatsoever. The only time I do is when Raj, Parse, and our other friend Joseph go off about it in our group chat. But over the last like maybe a few weeks with like the talk of like crypto art, like the Nancat thing selling for like how much was it, Anton? Remind me.
About $500,000, something like that.
That's an amount of money. That is very much an amount of money. And then like hearing about like this whole NBA drop shot thing and which we're going to be talking about in moments. Yeah, I've like talked about like Logan Paul's been doing stuff. I have no idea because I just not that I don't pay attention to it. I guess I'm just not within that like sort of area to look it up or like even think about it. But yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, I apart from the group chat, that was the first interaction I ever had with it, and it's considerable because I kind of been really investing myself in learning about what investors and what people are doing nowadays that are new fads. So one of the fads right now that's going around is, well, one, energy, and two, now crypto, which is like a big thing. They're starting to say that we're going to see a transition change similar to what had occurred back in the 1900s with the big whole coal power. So that's why companies like Tesla and stuff like that, people you can hear through the earwaves people saying Tesla, CCIV, they're undervalued, and that they're gonna blow up pretty soon. You need to get in there. So when I was on the group chat and Raj charismatically said, this is something you might be interested in because you love the NBA. I gotta be fundamental. I think a lot of people are in the same boat as me. We're so confused and afraid of partaking because we don't fully understand it. So just looking forward to kind of learning about it more from you guys.
Yeah, I think that's totally that's a totally reasonable reaction to have. And just by the way, we're going to add a disclaimer right now. This is not a financial podcast. We are not we're not licensed for anything.
We are in no way, shape, or form authorized to be talking about any of this, but we are anyways.
No, well, not authorized. But
this is about sports.
Yeah, we're just talking about stuff. So do your own research. Figure stuff out.
Do your own research.
Yeah,
Big
if
emphasis.
we say like, if we say like, oh, this could be a good investment, like don't you just like go look.
Do your own research. Look it up.
Yeah,
see if it's safe for you.
Because I mean, like we are wrong a lot as we have tried to make sports predictions and how those didn't pan out. What makes you think our finances are going to do very well?
We don't talk about those.
Once or twice.
What makes you think our financial predictions are going to be very good? So, yeah. Let's take this back a little bit. So the idea of non-fungible tokens and crypto art basically is just like a digital file, like I said, where people can purchase through an auction or sometimes directly from someone on a NFT marketplace, or it could just be transferred to someone through a blockchain. Currently, the only one that exists that I'm aware of is on the Ethereum blockchain, I believe. And that is the only one that currently exists. And if you're watching this on YouTube, my background, if anyone can see behind me, is a background of CryptoPunks, which was the very first non-fungible token, which was released back in 2017, something like that. I could be wrong, but that was the very first one. It was just a collection of, if you guys are just listening, you can't see, it's just a collection of little pixelated pixel art of faces, different characters, kind of like The Sims or like, the Wii Me avatars. This guy's got like 3D glasses, another person's got like, sunglasses, another person's got like a fun hat. And they were the very first drop, very first release, and they were traded for various amounts of cryptocurrency, for various amounts of money using specifically the Ether token, Ether coin. Now each one of these goes for at least like $1,000 US, depending on where the Ether coin is right now. But bringing it closer now towards why we're talking about it on a sports podcast is because there's this new. Well, I guess I don't know how new it is. It's pretty new. This thing called NBA Top Shot, where the NBA collaborated with I believe, I don't know if it was the same company who did CryptoPunks, but it was the same company who did Crypto Kitties, which is like another thing where it's just like, digital photos of kittens that were traded on the digital marketplace. And now it's stuff like photos and videos and stuff. I mean, I haven't even browsed the whole thing. Raj, why don't you give us a little bit of an explanation of what NBA Top Shot is for the uninitiated?
Sure, yeah, I'll do my best. I think you're right. It's the same company, Dapper Labs. So I think they did CryptoKitties back in the day, even though I'm not too familiar with that site. But from what I know, Top Shot, they're still in beta mode. So they initially launched on October. So that's 3 or 4 months of beta, or 4 or 5 months of beta. So I initially heard about it from a friend back in October. He's pretty heavy in the NFT space, and he knew that I like basketball. So he was like, "Yo, you should check the site out. It might be kind of cool." So I hopped on October, and for the first little while, I didn't really buy anything. I was just kind of on the site casually, just checking out what they had. One thing I've noticed was that the number of transactions and the value of the transactions have really like skyrocketed. So back in October, there wasn't a lot of volume on the site, probably because they didn't have too many users at that point. And the clips that they were selling. So maybe I'll explain that quickly. Like instead of buying sports cards, you're still getting collectibles, but instead the collectibles are in video format, which they're minting off. I think it's called the Flow protocol. So that's their blockchain that they're minting it off of. So I guess the value of the clips comes from A, if people actually want to own it, like if it's a cool moment, and then B, the scarcity of the clip, because each clip has like an edition number. So if it's minted like 50 times, you could have edition like 1 all the way up to edition 50. So I think those two things are the main factors that create the value. But anyway, so going back to what I was saying, like they didn't have too much volume, and things weren't that crazy. Like I remember buying and selling a couple moments, but it would take decent amount of time for the transactions to actually click in. But fast forward now to Feb, it's just like exploded within the last couple months. There's like crazy number of users. Like the amount of money on the site is just mind-boggling. Like it's crazy. I mean, I was looking the last 2 days at some of the moments I remember looking at initially back in October, like September, which were selling for like $20-$30. Now they're like, some of them are in the thousands, which is like insane. It's crazy. I still can't believe it. But
thousands is a lot of money.
Yeah.
I mean, so right now.
So that's really the site, like in a nutshell, I think, just purchasing clips either in their marketplace or waiting for a drop. So those are your two options.
Like,
whenever you have questions, like feel free to chime in.
So as a basketball fan, like let's just say for a moment I like to remember, or I would like to have on, would be that moment when Allen Iverson crosses over Michael Jordan. So would that be a type of moment that's actually being sold right now?
That's not a moment you can get, because if I'm not mistaken, the only moments they're offering are like moments from like 2018, 2019, 2020. So
and that's currently.
So to get an AI moment, you'd have to go back like over a decade. So I don't think they've released those moments yet. And I don't really know what their strategy is. I guess they're going to work backwards since they've started with the current years, unless they're just going to not include them at all. But I feel like at some point they'll get around to those older years. Because I guess if you think about it, they have like basically an unlimited amount of like clips they can mint. Because like how many NBA games have taken place over the last several decades? Like hundreds of thousands.
Yeah, you think about like how much that Michael Jordan flu game, those clips will go for, right?
Oh God!
God! Yeah.
Actually, I'm happy you brought up MJ, because like at this point there isn't a single MJ moment on the website. So as soon as you have any MJ moment at all, like
Yo,
it's game over.
MJ moment.
It's game over.
Well,
it's game over.
So my question, going off what Parse had asked in regards to like the older stuff, and since I guess Raj, what you're talking about is they're working backwards almost, is when you look back at the last like 2-3 years of the NBA, yeah, there are definitely a lot of moments that are like noteworthy. Like the one I can immediately think of is the Kawhi shot, of course, which holds a very special place in all our hearts as Raptors fans. But my question now, I guess, is would it only be highlights from games? Like, would it be? Do you think maybe there could be highlights from like, I don't know, all-star events, like for example, the Vince Carter dunk contest, stuff like that, like historical moments that have happened outside of a standard NBA game?
Yeah. So far, it's only games, but I mean that's a great idea. Like I think that's probably the next step. Like when they want to start.
I'm sure they have
diversifying.
everything on the table.
Yeah. I think so.
Yeah, like it would be a curious idea as to why they wouldn't do it. I mean, one reason would be like you don't want to flood the market with too many things at once, right? Because like, so when you think about why, so some people who are listening to this might be wondering, okay, why would someone want to buy this clip? I mean, like, can't I just watch it on YouTube? Can't I just like save it to my phone and screen record or whatever? Like, sure. But like I mentioned, it is official as like that is unique. That is a token that says that this is that thing. Like, of course you can screenshot or like take a picture of the Mona Lisa when you're in the Louvre. Everyone does it. But that doesn't mean like when you show your friends, you're just like, check it out. I got the Mona Lisa. Like you don't have the Mona Lisa. You have a picture of it. And then people say like, well, that's physical. Like, okay, sure. As some have said, physicality is a bug, not necessarily a feature. It just happens to be that way. And like same thing with photo prints. Like we have digital photos. Why can't if I'm selling digital photos, or if I put a photo that I took, like a very famous, there's like plenty of famous photographers out there, and they have galleries where their photo prints sell for, I don't know, thousands of dollars in the art gallery market. But you can go on Google Images and just look it up and just look at it. And so the reason why people are paying so much for it is number one is like because of scarcity, and so supply and demand. How much is this artist in demand? Another reason is like number two is kind of like value holding, right? So if this thing is said to have been sold and is priced at, let's say $10,000, and I want to transfer money over, like if I'm, a multimillionaire in China and I want to get some money out of the country, I'm going to use artwork, right? So sometimes people just like take artwork, they'll purchase it from the galleries, from the auction houses, from Christie's or whatever, and then they'll just keep it in a vault, locked in a vault somewhere. So it's just a storage of value. But so it, going back to like trading cards, why would someone want one of the original LeBron rookies? Is like, well, it's in high demand, right? It's just supply and demand. And the third reason is just like, you can't really rationalize human behavior sometimes. It's just like people will pay for what they want to pay for, right? Like things.
Yeah, I wanted to add to that. Just like as a sports fans, all of us here, we all have a bunch of sports memorabilia that's very dear to our hearts. I know for me personally, sometimes when I go through my phone, one of the things I like to look at is the fact that I was at like a video I took at the Raptors celebration ceremony, and I'm like near the front, and I can literally see, Kawhi walk up and Lowry walk up to shake the prime minister, the mayor, and all their big icons at MLSE before holding up the trophy to us all. So that was a very great special moment. That's a moment I took from my phone at that time. It's not a memorabilia thing in the sense, but we do a lot of ridiculous stuff as sports fans. I mean, Yusuf has jerseys of how many different teams?
we don't talk about my jersey.
The ones that are not even in Inception, they're Inception. They're not even realistic yet. Like, yeah, I got some more.
Yeah, we don't talk about my jersey.
Definitely buying the Kraken one. Like,
I wonder if your video
already am. No, sorry, Raj, you were saying?
Oh no, I was just gonna say I wonder if Parse's video could be an NFT. If that's even possible.
Yeah, I have
I
no
mean,
idea.
right.
I don't know
Like,
how,
you
like,
know,
as a new user, like, could you just hop on?
yeah.
And,
You know, like there's a bunch of things I've because like it's obviously starting small right now, and there it could grow into so many things. Like, could it start spanning from what is it now, game highlights, to now like old game highlights, all-star like special event highlights, you know, things like that. And then could it even get to like celebration highlights? Like, for example, I still somewhere on either my hard drive or my old phone have a video of Rob Gronkowski hanging off the side of a party bus chugging a beer while Crazy Train by Ozzy Osbourne's playing the last time the Patriots won a Super Bowl.
Oh wow!
And I still have that on video.
That was
so
in downtown Boston, right? In
that was
the garden,
by that time it was actually like right down the street from my house. So
yeah.
yeah.
But
But yeah.
so
So stuff
that's
like that,
different
like
because-
crazy highlights. You know,
because the league doesn't own that.
that's
that video.
that's a good point. They don't.
Unless there was an official from the league taking photos of Rob Gronkowski doing that, but I don't think that was the case.
Hey, it might exist. We don't know.
Yeah. So that actually brings up an interesting question of like, okay, so who benefits? How does this benefit people? So I'm not entirely sure how NBA Top Shot works with this. Maybe Raj can enlighten us in a second, but I know that for other marketplaces, so Rareable, Super Rare, some of these other marketplaces where you can purchase NFTs and crypto art, basically when you sell it, let's say I, make a cool art piece, and I publish it or mint it on the blockchain, sell it on the marketplace on one of these sites. Each one of these sites actually, of course, they need to make money, so they take a cut. That cut is usually 10 to 15% of the sale. You said, okay, sure. So I sell it for, let's say, 1,000 USD, or yeah, okay. This is weird because you have to think about like USD, and then there's also all the transactions are processed in cryptocurrency, but we'll just, for the sake of simplicity, let's say that I sold it for $1,000 US. Now, that means I make $800, right? But they also have royalties that they include. So when someone who purchased it from my artwork, they just, my profile goes up. I land in, artists' magazines and stuff. I'm blowing up in the art world. The demand for my NFTs goes up. So that person now is able to sell it for, let's say, just for the sake of simplicity, 2 times as much. So they're able to sell it for 2,000 US dollars as opposed to 1,000 US dollars. So they do that and they're happy. And there, of course, there's a cut, but I also get a cut as an artist. And there's an artist royalty that the marketplace gives me, which is, usually around 10%. So that means in addition to the $800 that I made, I now make an extra $200 from that resale. And that is the case for so on and so on and so on. And each marketplace is different. Some work on a sliding scale. Some have different royalties. Some, I don't even know if, maybe some don't have royalties at all. So Raj, I don't know. Do you know how that works with, like, is it like a player highlight? Like, let's say there's, a certain, LeBron dunk. Is that like he gets the royalties from that and it's split between him and the team and the NBA? Like, how does that work?
Yeah, right now I don't know too much about the art side of NFTs since I'm mostly on NBA Top Shot, but Top Shot doesn't have any royalty features. So it's just, you got to wait for a drop, whenever that is, to get the clips, or sorry, the moments. Maybe that
sorry.
one.
No, I meant like, so obviously the NBA will make money, right? But if it's like a, if it's a moment of specifically LeBron, like, does he get a cut of that?
Okay,
that
that's
sale.
That's what you
kind of like trading cards, right? Like trading cards.
Right.
If it's a,
like a royalty thing, right?
Yeah. Like
got
if,
it.
if someone sells jerseys with my name, or someone sells trading cards with my image, I'm gonna get a little bit of royalty, right?
Yeah, I see what you mean. They haven't mentioned anything like that on their website, so that's pretty much the only thing I can. And I don't think they've disclosed that kind of thing. So I don't know about any kind of royalty. But like, since you asked the question, like, it kind of makes me wonder. Since Dapper partnered with NBA, how does the NBA benefit? Like, what are they getting out of it? Like, I guess royalties would be one of the answers, but they haven't. As far as I know, they haven't disclosed that. So I don't think players are getting royalties, although they technically should, since it's their highlight films getting minted and sold.
It's their likeness and character being in the clip, right? So you would assume royalties would be a thing eventually.
That's what you would assume. So I'm thinking that they probably have that. Maybe they just haven't disclosed it to like their users. But I mean, in some way, the NBA has to be benefiting. Otherwise, why would they partner with Dapper?
Right. Apart from just like hopping on the perceived bandwagon of NFTs.
Yeah. So I have a question in regards to the whole Top Shot thing. So how does acquiring it work? And like with trading cards, right? Like you can get them in a pack, and then whatever's in the pack is what you get. Something might be worth something. Is that how it's working with Top Shot, or is it like you acquire individual highlights, or is it like in a pack? Or like, how does that exactly work?
So the way it works is they have these drops which come at random times, kind of like a clothing drop from like Supreme or one of those other brands.
Right.
It's totally randomized, maybe like 2 or 3 times a month. You get an email notification saying, "Hey, there's this drop 2 days from now, or even 2 hours from now." It's all over the place.
Okay.
We're dropping this pack. This pack is going to have this many moments in it, normally like 6 or 7, and they'll even give you a list showing like what kind of moments you can expect to get in your pack, and they'll tell you the price tag as well. So they're giving you all the details of the pack. Your job as a user is basically to get on the site at the drop time. So if it's releasing today at 5 p.m., that's 25 minutes from now.
Yep.
It's up to me to be on that site at 5 p.m. Make sure I get in the queue, and then pretty much just pray to God that I get a spot in line. Because let's say they only have 10,000 packs available, which is what they had, like, I think for last week's drop. You can expect like at least, a couple 100,000 people waiting in that line. I don't think it's first come, first serve. It's kind of like whoever is on the site, they'll get randomly assigned a queue number. So when I went onto the site,
lottery.
Yeah, it's basically like a lottery system. So when I went onto the site a couple of days ago for their last drop, they had, I think it was like 10,000 packs, as I said. Seemed to be like at least 200,000 people waiting. So I think I forget my number, but I think I got assigned spot like 37,000. So by that point, I just left because I was like, "There's no way I'm getting a pack, like unless 20,000 people just give up their spot in line." So yeah, it's getting a pack now is really challenging. So the other way to get moments is through their open marketplace, which is where the moments buy and sell. But I mean, getting it through the pack is way better because the packs are cheaper and you get like a bundle of moments. So yeah.
Okay, and how much was that last drop going for, price wise?
The last drop, that was $100 USD.
$100 USD. Okay, interesting.
For each NFT, right?
For each bundle of moments.
For each bundle, not individual highlight.
No. So you're paying for the pack, and then that pack I think had like 6 moments.
Okay, so like a pack of 6, and each of those are like a pack of 6 NFTs, right? A pack of 6 NFTs.
6 moments, yeah.
Yeah, 6 moments. And
so the cheapest pack I've seen was like $6. I think that was back in October. And then the most expensive pack I've seen was 1,000 USD, which was crazy because people are actually like lining up to get that in the tens of thousands.
Is it Dapper or whatever company is controlling it, like the price range, or is it based on the demand?
So the secondhand marketplace is the demand, I believe, right?
Okay.
The drops are all by the Dapper guys. They decide, what they're releasing the price. The marketplace is just like, it's a free market.
Right. Okay.
It's like an eBay or whatever.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah. Yep. Okay. Yeah. Huh. Learning so much. Parse. Yeah. Any questions? Do you have any questions
before I move on to like the next section?
I mean, I'm just taking it in. It's really wild to hear about it, right? A couple of years ago, this happened, and all of a sudden now it's starting to turn up big. There has been a thought in my mind that I've been thinking about. As a person, you're not in this. How do you tell that person who's on the fence to get into crypto art and to get into the NBA blockchain?
I mean, I wouldn't, because it's like it's super volatile. It's like telling someone, well, I mean, if you're saying like get into it as in like just like a fun hobby, I would say like if you have quote unquote disposable income, if you have like, we're in the pandemic right now, you can't go out traveling, right? So it's like, let's say you still make the same amount of money, but you obviously can't or shouldn't go traveling places. So where do you spend that money? Like, I could buy, I can only buy so many. I only want to buy so many shoes because I'm not really going anywhere. So let's look at something else. So what could I buy that's just for like fun spending money? Maybe NBA Top Shot stuff, maybe crypto art that could hold its value potentially, because this is all like you're taking risk. Never spend any money that you're not willing to lose on any of this, because it is, this is like buying and selling. This is basically like buying and selling Pokemon cards or antiques or stamps, any of those collectibles, what they call alternative investments, because those are just like, people will pay whatever they're willing to pay for it. And it's not like a real estate. It's not the S&P 500 here. You're not going to get, a predictable return, or at least past predictable return on it. It's very volatile, but I would say that like if you're into sports and you got a little bit of spending money on it, and you don't have like a personality or like someone who is very quick to be enveloped by gambling, like maybe you have a family member who you grew up in, and you had a parent who had gambling issues, and maybe avoid that if that is very sensitive to you, because people can lose lots of money really quickly. Maybe not as much as like day traders or anything, but like this is like a fun thing. This is not like a, I'm gonna spend my child's education fund on this, instead of putting it into an RESP.
Don't be that guy.
Yeah, don't be
that guy.
Yeah,
you're into sports.
Yeah,
talking to people out there who are not into, like, they're on the fence. They want to do it. They're not sure. What would you say to kind of push them, or what advice would you give?
I would say at least go for the drops. I mean, there's pretty much no downside there. Like, I mean, apart from like paying for it, but if it's like, it's not one of those like, sorry, I'm a little sick. It's not one of those like crazy expensive drops. If it's like $10, then I would say it's pretty worth it.
Yeah, and
if anything, it's fun to just like open it up and just see your moments. Like, it was like I felt like a kid again the first time I opened my pack. Okay. I still remember the moments I had. Like, I don't have them anymore because I sold them. But
what did you sell them for?
What did I sell them for? I sold them. So I think the pack was like $6, and then I sold them a couple weeks later for like $30 or $40. Even though now they're probably worth like a lot more.
Yeah.
Okay, at the time, I thought it was great because I was like, I was like, wow, I'm not gonna get any more than that.
Like, and 5x return, wow.
Yeah, and I mean, I do have friends that buy just to collect, but like that's not me. I don't really want to collect moments. I'd rather just flip them.
Although
it was easier initially because like it was affordable. Now it's like it's not that feasible because like everything's just super expensive now. So I feel like the best way to play it is just for the drops, even though they're hard to get.
You know what it really sounds like? It sounds like when you're playing 2K and you buy the starter packs for your My Team.
Oh, okay. I never bought one of those packs. So is that what
I don't play 2K like that, but I've watched so many videos of,
or like FIFA. I know that's
FIFA.
I've seen the FIFA is the big one.
Yeah.
No, they do this stuff, right? They love the game so much and they're competitive in it, so they buy packs to get the better players. They get Diamond Ronaldo or whatever the case may be, or Diamond LeBron. So it feels like that, but at the same time, it's not like you're playing in a game. It's more like you now own this, and you can now take your investor understandings and you can flip it, or you can keep it for memorabilia. Either
Yeah,
one.
exactly. Well, people are doing that now too with like Top Shot. They're like doing like YouTube or Discord like openings, and they have like hundreds of people like streaming in to see their openings, just so they can open their pack up in front of like an audience. That's kind of cool. It's like kind of the same thing as like FIFA.
Yeah, like those unboxings of like sports cards unboxings or Pokemon card unboxings, where they're like, do I have the Charizard, or like, oh, am I gonna pull the am I gonna pull the rookie Kobe card or something like that? And I think like one element of like what keeps the demand is like also supply. So kind of like Supreme drops, like for at least for the expensive stuff, you kind of want to keep it limited, and that's kind of like the dilemma, like how limited, if you want to bring it to scale, like how are you going to do that? So I guess it's something that the NBA has to work out, because there was that time in like the 80s and 90s when like sports cards were worth like quarters or something like that, because they just flooded the market. But one thing I want to bring up is like I want to bring up the other leagues. So NBA was kind of the first at this. I don't remember when they joined, but so you can think of like, when will MLB and when will NFL and when will NHL, when will MLS, and when will the English Premier League, when will all these other leagues join in on NFTs? Because so many people have been joining in. Like Logan Paul issued an NFT of his face, which he made like $5 million on that or something like that. Just selling like, I don't know, just under 3,000 NFTs.
All right, change of plans. We're not doing this podcast anymore. Parse, we're making an NFT of your face and we're selling it. Okay.
Negative ether.
Yeah.
Can I at least buy and hold? I like the memories.
Your own dude. How do we get Snugman to be an NFT?
Snugman's NFT.
No, going. I'm sorry for interrupting you, Anton. By the way.
No,
but my thought in regards to like spreading it out over the other major sports, I feel like with like the English Premier League, I think might be later. But when I think of like memorable sports highlights, like I don't think of NBA that much as far as like in game, because there's just so much going on. But you look at like, there have been historic highlights in baseball and football and in hockey. Baseball, as us living in not in Toronto, but in the Toronto area, the Jose Bautista bat flip from 2015. Like, imagine owning a highlight like that.
It's still the best bat flip I've ever seen.
Oh, of course. But yeah,
yeah. Rude.
It's iconic. But there are moments like that I feel like if the other leagues, like, I feel like the NBA is really the guinea pig for this whole, I guess, scenario, I want to call it, an idea, and assuming it takes off and it does very well, and based on what we talked about earlier with whether or not players are getting royalties from it and all these like little logistic things behind it, I wouldn't be surprised if at least baseball and football got on it. Hockey is still hockey. Who the hell knows with the NHL?
Yeah, I don't know.
Who the hell knows? Although, granted, I feel like if you live at least here, like again, I could speak for anywhere else, but even if you live here, you're probably looking for those Matthews and McDavid highlights.
Yeah, or that Ovechkin over the back or whatever, that shot, or
the lacrosse goals or any of those,
or the if there was I don't know, you probably have to go through with the different league, but the Miracle on Ice moment when the U.S. beat the Soviets.
Yeah, there's a lot of iconic moments that you could definitely look at and potentially be like, man, we could monetize off this, besides constantly rebroadcasting old games on Sportsnet or something. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like the NBA is really doing, I think it's a good thing with the pushing of this.
They are very
hip,
forward thinking,
or
at least very like, whether or not this pans out, this could be a fad, but like the one thing you can not say about them is like that they're playing it safe. They are not risk averse, but they also know that they have that safety of having that traditional broadcasting license and ticket sales and merch sales. They have that foundation, and then they're saying like, okay, how can we expand? Like they were one of the first big leagues to expand into China, into other markets. Like it's growing so fast. When you think of like global sports, of course, football, like association football, soccer is the one, but like basketball is slowly growing. Number one, because of how cheap it is to play and how easy it is to understand, as compared to like baseball being kind of difficult for a random person to come in and figure out how the game works, or hockey just being very expensive. Basketball is just very forward thinking, and I think it would be in the other league's best interest to at least like experiment with NFTs, and try to figure out how to get into this into this party. I talked about earlier in a previous podcast about how if the NHL got into esports, how like the NBA is doing a 2K league. I think that would be very interesting. But Raj, any thoughts on that?
Oh, sorry. Which part specifically?
So sorry. Just like the idea of NBA being forward thinking, and like, what do you think this means for the world of sports? Like, what do you think NFTs can do for other leagues?
Right.
NFL for MLB for the Olympics.
Yeah, I agree.
maybe.
I agree. NBA has always been pretty agile. Like they're, as you said, like not very risk averse. Like so if someone like said, like imagine a sports league like partnering up with Dapper, like I would assume NBA would be that league. Like if I had to guess, like they're definitely the ones to do that. I don't think it's I think it's a fad like right now in the short term, because I think people are just, it's kind of creating like a snowball effect. Everyone's seeing everyone else doing it, and they're getting on top of it. But apart from the short term, I think it's definitely here for the long term. So I would agree. I mean, I think other leagues are going to get on this. Maybe not necessarily with Dapper, but could be another company, and they'll have their own like proprietary websites, and they'll have their own token, their own probably similar system with like a drop mechanism, and then like a marketplace mechanism as well. So I see this for the long term. I guess that would be my answer. Like I don't think it's going anywhere. Because honestly, it's cool. It's kind of cooler. I mean, trading collectibles in general are cool. Like everyone likes opening up packs and getting things that you could hold or sell it. I personally find the clips more interesting than the actual physical trading cards, even though I used to have a lot of trading cards growing up. I just find the clips easier to like view, easier to transact. And also NBA Top Shot, I don't know if you guys have taken your time on the site, but they do like a really, really good job of presenting the bundles. Like it's a very clean user interface. The clips are really well organized. Like it's fun. It's an overall fun experience. So I think as long as they keep it exciting, they're gonna have a strong user base.
Same question to Yusuf and Parse. Like, what do you guys think this NFTs mean for the future of sports going forward?
I think it's good. Honestly, it gets people more involved. I feel like bringing in NFTs is going to bring in not only, I mean, this is hand in hand, really. It's going to be bringing in a bunch of new people and a different demographic. It's definitely going to be, at first, how it's being put out, catered and marketed towards like the hardcore fans that are into still collecting. So, and it's going to be at the same time catered to people that are into crypto and whatnot. So, and essentially, it's two different parties crossing each other's bridge, almost, right? Sort of meeting in the middle, in that you have these like hardcore collectors from the old days that like to like physically have these things or and whatnot, going into now the crypto market, and you have the crypto market guys that are now going into the like sports collectibles and like things like that. Like as a guy that does collect actual physical things, like I might try it one day, and I think it'll be good going forward. Like it may actually give certain leagues the boost it needs to sort of get back to like the upper echelon of what it was. Like I feel like if baseball did this, it'd be crazy, because baseball trading cards were always like the big thing, right? So I feel like if they started doing now these like video highlight packages and whatnot, it'd definitely be like a huge deal for them. So yeah.
I think like when I really break it down, it's kind of giving us millennials, but I'm not sure if we're millennials at the
Aren't
same
we
time.
like Gen Z? Whatever.
We're
We're like Gen Z.
millennials.
We're
But
millennials.
let's just say for the fact that, you know, anybody post 1990, if you're born, this is like your own personal version of having and selling and trading and owning baseball cards, basketball cards of your favorite athletes and growing up with that. So, in a sense, this is great for the sports world because of the way that the world is moving. Again, a lot of people are saying that we're in a digital age now and you need to start thinking about it. And it's a little traumatic. I can't lie. I mean, I'm into, you know, when I talk about cars, I'm into V6s, V8s, V12s, the old styles, and hearing the different engines flip through the gears. And now all of a sudden, you got kids out here saying, "Yeah, I love the Tesla. It's just a battery." So maybe it's fat, maybe it's not. But for the sports world, this is your chance for you to get immersed in a more personal way and digitally wise. So I think it's pretty cool.
Awesome. Yeah. Well, do you guys have any like final questions or final thoughts that you would like to end off with?
Yeah, just one quick question. So I know Raj did mention that there's like a whole website that you can get to access like the Top Shot stuff, and I know that they are affiliated with the NBA. That website to access like the Top Shot stuff, that's not accessible through the NBA's website, is it?
Well, I just go directly to the URL, so it's nbatopshot.com. Yeah.
Right. I was just wondering if there's like a link or a tab at any point at anywhere like on the actual on the actual NBA website to like lead you to that.
I don't think they have that.
Okay.
Is their logo even on there? The site is the NBA logo on there?
I don't think so. Let me pull it up.
And you do have to have a a crypto wallet, right?
Oh, that's interesting. The logo is on, so it shows their logo, and it shows.
Okay.
Yeah,
Top
so
Shot.
that's kind of like their way of legitimizing it. But yeah, do you have to have a crypto wallet or to buy this stuff?
Or do you?
No,
can you just
you don't need to. You can just
really
PayPal. Okay.
Yeah, you can just use like PayPal or credit card.
Oh, okay. So I guess Dapper just does the exchange, right?
Yeah, so you just fund your account. They set up everything else. So actually, for the average user, like there's nothing crypto like involved. Like they're not seeing any, they're not seeing Bitcoin or any other cryptocurrency.
It's just that.
Yeah, at least like they're not. I just mean to say they're not interacting with any crypto or blockchain related elements besides like the video clip itself, because I'm assuming everyone is just funding their account with like a credit card or PayPal or whatnot.
Right.
And then they're just buying it with dollars.
Yeah, I think that's smart. That's smarter because like it's more user accessible, more user friendly.
Yeah, for sure.
Kind of like how Apple, like they don't want their users getting into the mechanics and like opening up the computer itself, because they just want people to like not feel like they're using technology. They just want to give people the experience. So yeah, do you guys have any like final thoughts on this whole thing, on this whole topic?
I've definitely learned a lot, that's for sure. This has been Raj and Anton, I have to thank you. This has been very enlightening for something I thought was always terrifying, but I see now it's not as terrifying as I thought.
Final thoughts from me, it's number one, do your research. I always say it. And this is quite cool.
Yeah, Raj?
Final thoughts, man. I just wish these clips were cheaper. They're so expensive now. But yeah, I agree with Parse. I mean, do your own research. And yeah, it's exciting. I mean, I just love using the website, even though I don't really, buy or sell too much. I just like looking at the clips. So yeah, I mean, we'll see what comes out of the space. I think it's going to be here for a while, but I'm kind of thinking alongside Anton now. I'm wondering what other leagues are going to start adopting this.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, I think my final thoughts would be that this seems to be going forward like something that could be in for the long term. Maybe like not the midterm, because what I predict is kind of like a .com bubble kind of thing, where it's like, right after the 2000s, the bubble burst, and then it's slow, and then people are just like, oh, the internet is dead. Like NFTs are not dead. just like how the internet was not dead when the .com bubble had bursted. It's going to be like really overhyped, and then it's going to come crashing, and then it's going to find its equilibrium, just like a lot of things out there, a lot of hyped things. So yeah, I think long term, this is what you can expect from sports. Sorry, Yusuf, did you want to say something?
No, I'm good. I just had to yawn.
Okay.
No.
All right. Awesome. Well, yeah, we'll leave a little bit of information, and maybe we'll include a link or two in the description of this podcast episode. But apart from that, thank you guys so much for listening. As always, I am Anton Wong.
One of us is going. I'm Yusuf.
I'm Parse.
And Raj, thank you once again.
Yeah, Raj, thank you very much for being here.
Thank you for indulging us.
Oh,
and,
sorry, I didn't introduce myself.
Yeah, you're good.
It's okay.
Anytime,
No worries.
Anytime.
It's actually tradition that we mess this part up at the end.
We almost always mess this up.
So thank you guys so much for listening. Yeah, and tune in next time. Bye.
Alex Caruso for MVP.